What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today I want to show you the way that we have set up irrigation on our farm. Let's jump into it. So starting off, just to share with you, we do currently irrigate from a municipal water source, very similar to what you'd have to do if you're on an urban farm. We get 5 to 8 gallons per minute with this source. We're looking into drilling a well or potentially doing an irrigation pond in the future because it is expensive in the summertime when we're at our peak water usage. So we've got 200-foot heavy-duty water hoses that we have connected. It's hooked up to the spigot here on the house, and then what we've done here is we just kind of ran it along the wall, and then starting right about here, we buried it just a couple inches under the surface of the soil. So I ran just a little trench, just enough to bury it. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I do not like having to move a water hose to mow, you know, with a riding lawnmower, and I have run one over before, and that's not too exciting to go replace a water hose. So basically where you see me walking right now is where we kind of ran that trench, and then that brings us to the 4x4 that we set, and we have this heavy-duty water hose coming up right about here. This is kind of the central point to our farm, and so we got it running up here. I've just got zip ties connected. And then we've got these orbit timers. This creates automatic irrigation, and it gives you 6 zones, 3 zones per timer. All we have here is a splitter, and then that gives us our 3 zones. So now from here, we can run our poly to the different zones. And what we've got here, we've got one zone here for a little raised bed. We honestly don't really use that anymore. But then we've got a zone here, and this is overhead irrigation with wobblers. These are the Senegar wobblers, and they work pretty well as long as you don't get a lot of winds. We do, which is pretty unfortunate. So the best thing that we try to do to mitigate that is we try to either irrigate at night or in the evening or in the early morning when the winds are down. Because even with these wobblers, if it's high winds, I mean, it just blows the irrigation, and it's really inconsistent. But I hate drip irrigation. And this works for us. So I'm not saying that you should do this. There are a lot of market gardens, especially in the South, that do not do overhead irrigation due to getting foliar disease on their lettuce crops. We don't have an issue with it here on our farm. But that's what we're currently doing there. Over here, we've got our other zones with this timer. And so basically zone 1 for us is our Farmer's Friend Caterpillar tunnel. This thing is awesome. So we've got the overhead irrigation option with this tunnel, and we're also going to be running drip lines because in this tunnel, we've got kale chard. We're going to be planting tomatoes and peppers, and stuff like that is really good with drip irrigation. So this is going to be the only tunnel we run drip in. Everything else is on overhead wobblers. Again, this is what works for us on our farm in our context. I'm not saying this is what you should do, but I just wanted to show y'all that's kind of a complete setup of our irrigation. Pretty simple. Didn't cost a ton of money, and I know that irrigation can be really confusing, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So if you found it helpful, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.